Good morning, everyone. As you know, this is the second lecture for accounts for 11th Commerce. We have started with the very first chapter of your textbook, which is accounting and its terminology. In the previous lecture, we had an introduction about the chapter. We actually understood what accounting means. As the subject is completely new, we had a long introduction. We have also understood the meaning and definition of accounting in detail. And this is our second lecture, and we are going to continue with the same chapter. But I request you all watch the video carefully till end for complete understanding. If you will skip a single lecture, things are going to get difficult ahead. Yes? So you should maintain consistency. Alright then, let us see what is our topic for today. It is characteristics of accounting. In previous lecture, while explaining the introduction, I have highlighted the important points, the basic points. Yes, you have to consider that you have been conducting a sort of business activity, and whatever you do, yes, is to be written down for the purpose of keeping a record. Let us consider another example. Say for example, there is a shopkeeper, a grocery shop. Yes, you all know what is a grocery shop. So, ample of customers visit that shop every day. Yes? What do you think? Is it possible for the shopkeeper to remember each and everything? That these many people arrived and so person has purchased this much, that much? No doubt you will have an estimated idea about everything, that yeah, on an average there were 50 people today, 100 customers today, 80 customers today. That is an average. Not particularly you remember everything. Let us relate this to a very practical example again. When you visit a school, yes, there are different subjects taught every day. Now whatever is taught is to be written in fair books. Why? For the purpose of record, so that you can revise it later at the time of your exam. Yes? So why are accounts prepared? Why things are recorded? So that at the end of the accounting year, you get an idea that what is the result of a business activity. What is the financial position? Whether there is profit or it is loss. Yes. So records are to be kept with the purpose of obtaining the end result at the end of accounting year. Now what is accounting year? Obviously we'll understand the characteristics, but before that let us have little bit of introduction again. It is necessary to have introduction every day of 5 to 10 minutes till you get used to this subject. You become aware of the subject. Yes? So, what we were talking about? Yes, about an introduction. We were talking about accounting year. Now, a year. A year has 12 months in it. Yes? 12 months together becomes a year. We have a calendar year, which is from January to December. Now there is an accounting year, financial year, which is different to the calendar year. Listen to me very carefully. Your accounting year starts from 1st April and it ends on 31st March of next year. Say for example, the accounting year has started on 1/4/2019. So that year is going to end in 2020 on 31st March. This is what we call an accounting year, which is different from a calendar year, which is of Jan to December. Accounting year is from April to 31st March. If the accounting year has started on 1/4/2020, 1/4/20, the 12 months are going to end on 31st March 2021, a time span of 12 months, making it a year again. So while writing the books of accounts, you record all the things done during this 12 months. Anything that you have purchased, anything that you have sold, the expenses that you have conducted, the incomes you have received, and everything, each and every single detail which can be measured in terms of money is to be recorded in the books of accounts. Always remember the one which can be measured in terms of money only. Non-economic transactions are not recorded in the books of accounts. Alright? Fine. Then moving towards our topic for today, which is characteristics of accounting. The first chapter is completely a theory chapter and it is extremely important that you understand it well, so that you can understand the chapters given ahead. If you don't know anything, you know nothing about first chapter, you cannot expect that you will understand anything in the second chapter, third chapter and followed further. Fine? And as I said, you should keep your textbook and a writing book with you while you study this video lecture, and also other essentials. And I hope you all have been doing homework. You should be regular with your homework, with the preparation of your fair books and everything. Okay? Fine then. The second page of your textbook, there is the topic characteristics of accounting. The very first characteristic is financial characteristic. It is simple to understand. They say that the transactions or events which are recorded in accounting must be measurable in monetary value. That simply means that the books of accounts that you maintain, now you know very well that for keeping a record, the books of accounts are maintained by each and every individual, the sole proprietor, the partnership firm, the company. Yes? So, whenever a business activity is conducted, yes, what is its motive? That you want to earn something, you want to make profit. Yes? So you need to write down all the things, all the transactions, that what actually your business is doing and what is its position. Yes? So financial characteristic revolves around an important point, that you will write down the transactions only which can be measured in terms of money, because the very motive of your activity is to make profit. Yes? So let us consider an example to understand this. Say for example, 10,000 kg of chemical is purchased. Yeah? You have purchased a chemical of rupees 10,000. Sorry, you have purchased a chemical of 10,000. You've purchased 10,000 kg of chemical. The value to be paid is to be determined in terms of money. Of course, nothing is available for free. Anything that you purchase, you have to pay something for the same. Yes? So in return, you are supposed to pay 20,000 rupees. Again, you have purchased 10,000 kg of chemical, and in return you are supposed to pay 20,000. So here is the exchange of money. The transaction can be measured in terms of money, and this particular transaction is going to get recorded in the books of accounts. If this transaction did not involve money, then the transaction cannot be recorded. Alright? So exchange of money, when becomes a part of the transaction, it becomes financial in nature, and such transactions are to be recorded in the books of accounts. Second point is very common point, money as a medium of exchange. Of course, let us consider the same example again. I have purchased a chemical and I have given money in return. So money as a medium of exchange. Transactions that have money as a medium of exchange are to be recorded in the books of accounts. Like there was a barter system earlier in absence of money, which is not the case right now. Then the third characteristic is classification and analysis of transactions. We have understood this point while we were understanding the definition of accounting. Yes, the classification. Firstly, all the transactions are to be recorded, and then they are to be classified. Yes? Let us understand how. You can also have a look in your textbook. They say that in accounting, different types of transactions are recorded. Yes. The transactions are made in cash form or non-cash form. Understand? I went to a certain shop and I have purchased goods worth rupees 25,000. Understand this very carefully. Alright? And I have given 15,000 out of those 25,000 in cash. And the remaining 10,000 I am going to pay later. Yes? So the 15,000 that I have paid at the moment is considered as a cash transaction. I have received goods, I have given 15,000. This is a cash transaction. Talking about the remaining 10,000 that I have not paid, that does not mean I won't pay. I'll pay it later in the future. I have received goods again and I will pay later. This is a credit transaction. So you have to classify these transactions on this basis. Cash transactions, credit transactions, which are also known as non-cash transactions. Non-cash form. It is not non-cash transactions. It is in non-cash form. That simply means that the cash is to be paid or received in future. Alright? So, further if we are talking about the classification, it can be classified on the basis of their nature. The transactions can be about income, can be about expenses, asset or liability. Assets and liabilities are the new words for you here that we are going to understand ahead in the video lectures. So not to worry for now. So from this classification you analyze how that what is the total balance of assets, how many assets you have purchased during the year, what is the total income, what is the amount of expenses. Yes, you have classified them so that you can have an exact idea that what is the total amount of particular transactions. All the transactions related to income are classified, and at the end of the period the balance is obtained. Yes, and this is the reason that the transactions are classified and then analyzed. To analyze means to study that I have classified this, let me see. Now what is the balance? What is the balance of income? What are my expenses? What is the total of expenses? Yes, this is called analyzing. Then we have interpretation of transactions. Interpretation of transactions. We've understood this point in the previous lecture while we were learning the definition of accounting. Yes? Now they say, in accounting, only accounts are not prepared. But once the accounts are prepared as per the prescribed norms, that is, you have to follow certain rules and regulations. Yes, for preparation of accounts, just like you have rules and regulations everywhere. So there are several rules, there are several norms to be followed, that in what manner accounts are to be prepared. Once they are prepared, they are interpreted on the basis of disclosed details and figures. Yes. Understand a simple example. When you measure a blood pressure of a person, if it comes to 120 to 80, you have measured a blood pressure of a certain person and it says that it is 120 to 80. What does that indicate? That indicates that the person is healthy. Now how did you find out that? Because you have interpreted the figure that 120 to 80 is considered to be normal. Similarly, the figures that have been presented in accounting, the information which is presented in accounting, the records that you keep, the result of that is interpreted. You understand now? That means that the transactions that are recorded in accounting are to be interpreted and the results can be understood. Yes? Say for example, at the end of the accounting year, the total amount of expenses is 80,000 and income is 1,40,000. This information is obtained by the records that you have kept. Yes, now I will interpret this. How? Now income is 1,40,000, expense is 80. Income minus expense. What is the balancing figure? 40,000. Income is higher. So what do I interpret from this? That my business is making a profit of rupees 40,000. This is called interpretation. Yes. Fine. The very next characteristic that we have is quantitative information. The information recorded in accounts is in the monetary form. Again, the same thing. Monetary form, the one that can be measured in terms of money. And hence, this information is known as quantitative information. See, there are transactions, financial and non-financial, economic, non-economic. Yes, you will visit a doctor and the doctor is going to charge fees. This is an economic transaction. Yes, you are going for some computer classes. You are doing some computer related course. Yes, so you visit there and every month you pay 2,000, 3,000 or anything. This is an economic transaction. Yes. Now talking about non-economic transactions. A mother, a father who nurtures their child is a non-economic transaction. The parents, they do not expect anything in return. Have you ever heard that you will pay for the food that you eat at your place, at your home? No. This is a non-economic transaction. Yes? The social services. Consider the similar example. You went to a doctor for medicine and the doctor did not charge anything in return. Maybe it was with the purpose of social service, some charitable institute. Yes. So that is a non-economic transaction. These transactions are not recorded in the books of accounts. Only the transactions which can be recorded in terms of money are to be recorded in the books of accounts. Alright? Then, the very next characteristic that we have is economic decisions. Okay. Now, if we are talking about a company, yes, so there are different stakeholders. That means the parties related to the company, the one who have invested in the company, the one who supply their goods and services to the company on credit. In short, the related parties to a company, the one who make investments in the company. Yes. Now if you have a simple idea about investments, if you have ever heard this before, where will you invest your money? Obviously in a company that is making good profit. Why? With the intention that you will receive good returns. Yes. For that you need to study. You need to have sufficient information about what type of company it is. Yes. Just like your parents, they look for a best school for their child. How do they get to know? Obviously, they'll find out that what type of school this is and what is the atmosphere, what type of teachers are there, and and then they will find out the best school and they are going to get you an admission. Yes. So similarly, if you are looking for an investment, then you will do the same thing, that you are going to find out what is the position of the company. Yes, whether the company is doing good profit or not. All these results are obtained from the books of accounts. So all the related parties to the company, they take their decisions related to the company on the basis of the records. So in this way, accounting assists to make economic decisions. All these decisions are based on money. They say these are economic decisions. Yes? Over and above this, the company itself makes decision for its own development on the basis of the records they have kept. Yes? So, lastly, it is historical information. The point is very simple. Now, as I said, you have an accounting year which starts on 1st of April and it ends on 31st March. So what do you think? You prepare accounts only during 1 year? No, you do this every year. This is a constant thing. Yes? So say for example, I am doing business from past 5 years and still I will continue. So from past 5 years I have been writing the books of accounts. Obviously I have recorded, classified, summarized and I have interpreted the results thereof. Yes, that means I have all the data for past few years. Past 5 years. Now that data will be compared with the data of current year. Or say the previous year's data, previous year's information and current year's information will be compared. Why it is to be compared? To find out the level of improvement. That compared to past year, what is the position of business in current year? Has the amount of profit risen? Or what are the changes that we are supposed to make? Yes, when you compare things, you get to know that whether you have improved or you have fallen down. And once you get to know this, you make efforts to improve it more and more. Yes? Say for example, compared to past year, you have earned profit higher. Last year's profit was 1 lakh. This year's profit is 1,50,000. What do you interpret from this? That you have made a profit of 50,000 more compared to last year. So the information of past years is considered as historical information. Yes? Because the past transactions or events, they become a history, and past always discloses history. And hence, accounts prepared on the basis of history represent historical information and results. And that is the reason accounting has a relation with historical information. You always have to compare the results of current year with the previous year to find out the changes that have taken place during this year. Alright, so here we finish the topic of characteristics of accounting. I hope you all were able to understand, and you should watch this lecture again for the sake of revision. And here we end our session. We'll see you all soon in the next session. Till then, stay home and stay safe and study well.